Can we start that over? Oh my, I was laughing too much for the Seahawks.
When you're ready, just go.
All right. The Steelers win in Week 17 to keep their season alive, going into the season finale in Week 18. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and I'm here to recap this 30-23 win for the Pittsburgh Steelers at Lumen Field against the Seattle Seahawks. And let me tell you, man, this Seattle Seahawks bunch played pretty decently today. Geno Smith, 23 of 33, had some really high-level throws. DK Metcalf had a really good game on Joey Porter Jr., maybe the best we've seen against JPJ this season with over 100 yards receiving. And Kenneth Walker had a pretty decent game as well. He was dealing with an injury throughout. But listen, man, Mike Tomlin's group right now is really firing on all cylinders with Mason Rudolph under center, 18 of 24 today for 274 yards, led 3 touchdown drives for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris had 2 tuds on 122 yards rushing. Absolutely fantastic game from the Steelers. A running back there. And then George Pickens had another great game with Mason Rudolph throwing him the football. 7 catches for 131 yards, man. And let me tell you, man, this Mike Tomlin group right now, not only did Mike Tomlin get to 9 wins once again this year, extending his non-losing season streak to 17 seasons, longer than any other coach that's still coaching with one team. That's absolutely unbelievable. But the Steelers once again win, and another 400-yard performance, by the way, and another 30-point performance with Mason Rudolph under center, man. If you're excited about this Steelers win, like I am, spam W as many times as you can down there in the comment section. Really do appreciate all of your support. So now my game balls, man. Mason Rudolph's got to get the first one again because, I mean, the kid is straight up playing well. Now, I think people, the Mason Rudolph kind of, critics here are going to say, well, it was the run game that got the job done today, not the passing game. And although that's true, Mason Rudolph played a really clean game of football, right? No turnover-worthy throws. He was hitting guys down the field, especially George Pickens when he had opportunities to. He wasn't trying to be too aggressive, though, and he hit his check down when he needed. He moved the sticks efficiently, and overall, it was just a really, really good football game. And I think he's played so well over these last 2 weeks, and the Steelers' offense has played so well that I think now the hype to start Mason Rudolph as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to start to rise as we approach the season finale against the Baltimore Ravens. At this point, I think you got to think about bringing Mason Rudolph back, at least as a backup. And then we get to Najee Harris, who simply had a fantastic game today, man. 122 yards rushing. He got the final first down that sealed this game. He had 2 tuds, including one where he just completely carried an entire convoy into the end zone. He had another one where he dove for it. And I mean, he just had so much fight in this football game. Najee Harris is at his best when he's able to just put his head down and run somebody over, force people to take him down. He's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best power backs in the National Football League. And the Steelers are finally using him in the correct way, which is very, very encouraging. Now, before I get to the rest of my game balls here, let's have a word from our sponsor at PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. If you're looking for a way to spice up your game days this NFL season, get started with PrizePicks today. PrizePicks is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And if you're looking for a more fun way to get things going and get things a little bit spicier during the NFL playoffs, daily fantasy sports with PrizePicks is going to be perfect for you, and here's how you play. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they'll go for more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can check it out now at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. With PrizePicks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks. So get started right now. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Then we get to Jaylen Warren here, man. And listen, both running backs get a game ball from me because they both played great. Jaylen Warren had a run in the first half where he's spinning off of guys. I think like 7 or 8 Seattle Seahawks defenders touched Jaylen Warren before he eventually went down. And that was on a play where if it was Najee Harris, I think it's probably only a 2-yard gain. Jaylen Warren brings that electricity to Najee Harris's thunder. And I think that this tandem right here between Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren with Mason Rudolph making these big throws on these crucial downs. I mean, this is the engine of the Steelers offense and the main reason why the Steelers are sitting right now at 9-7. 13 for 75 and a touchdown was Jaylen Warren's stat line today. Absolutely fantastic as well. Had a really great touchdown where he showed off the wheels in the acceleration. And, I wanted to give this fourth one to George Pickens. I mean, I could have given out 6 game balls today, but I got to give it to the rook, Nick Herbig, the edge rusher, who came in with a huge strip sack in the second half that really not put the game on ice, but really put the Steelers in the driver's seat down the stretch of this football game in the fourth quarter. To have a big play like that, it's just really rewarding to see him do that based on everything that we've seen this season, right? He's been such a good rotational player. He was great in the preseason. I think he's got a very bright future, and he just had the biggest play of his career to this point in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Now, do me a favor right now. Before I get to my final game ball here, make sure you click that subscribe button. Join. I mean, you can see the ticker go up right now live. We're getting close to 43,000 subscribers. That's going to be our goal heading into Week 18 is to get to 43,000. We added almost straight up 1,000 subscribers on today's show, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And if you want daily, in-depth Steelers coverage right here on YouTube, 100% free, click that subscribe button right now. And if I can only give out 5 game balls, I have to give one to Mike Tomlin. All right, because after that 3-game skid, everything looked bleak. People were saying the season was over and Mike Tomlin should get fired. And I understand why people were saying that, right? 2 straight losses at home to 2-10 opponents, and then you get blown out by the Indianapolis Colts, all right? I understand why people were saying that. But if we're going to blame Mike Tomlin for those 3 losses, let's at least give him his flowers and give him some credit for turning the ship around when everything seemed lost for this team. All right, this team was completely down in the dumps, and Mike Tomlin, with his ability to get people to work hard, to run through a wall for him and their teammates, is something that is second to none in the National Football League. These teams never quit on Mike Tomlin, ever. And that is Mike Tomlin's greatest quality here in Pittsburgh, man. And what is the result? It is 17 straight non-losing seasons. Now, most head coaches have a hard time getting 50% winning seasons in this league, all right? So the Steelers and their fan base have been extremely lucky to have this man as their head coach. And after this 2-week performance where now the Steelers are in position to get into the playoffs in the season finale, I think that he's locked up an 18th season here with the black and gold. Now, let me know down there in the comments section, who was the MVP of the game to you? Let me know down there in the comments section. For me, I'm going to go Najee Harris. He is absolutely fantastic. He was the main engine of the offense. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Najee today, and he absolutely deserves the MVP of this football game. Now, let's go over some final thoughts here. And, my final thoughts here is that the Steelers definitely have a shot to make the playoffs. The Ravens won today, so they've locked up the number 1 seed. I don't think the Ravens are going to play their starters next year, at least most of them. So the Steelers with Mason Rudolph, desperate for a win. Even though they're on the road, I absolutely think that's a winnable football game, and I think the Steelers win next week, or at least they should, in Week 18. And now it's going to come down to the AFC playoff picture here, where Jacksonville or Buffalo needs to lose next week. If they both win, doesn't matter, the Steelers are done. All right, but if one of those teams lose and the Steelers win, guess what? Your Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the playoffs in 2024 now. Happy New Year to everybody out there, by the way. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now if you love Steelers content. We're going to be having updates for you guys all throughout the week. If the Steelers, or if the Ravens rather, decide to not play their starters, we're going to have you covered with a video. If the Steelers decide to, for some reason, start Kenny Pickett, we're going to have a video for you guys. We're going to have you guys covered for Week 18. It's Ravens week. The season is on the line. The playoffs are on the line. It's another must-win game for Pittsburgh, and the Steelers are hot. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now, and a Happy New Year to all the Steelers fans out there on YouTube.